Various individuals, including influential government figures and meaningless online trolls, have threatened and intimidated Elon Musk. However, his most recent threat, a Chinese threat, must be the most horrifying of all those at the mall. Is that what you heard? Do you not? The Chinese warned Elon after he used Twitter to share his proposal for resolving the ongoing conflict between nuclear-armed Russia and pro-Western Ukraine. Welcome back to another exciting video from PrompTech. Today's video is about Xi Jinping just threatened Elon Musk with this. Before we start the video, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. You are in the proper location. Hold on if you're wondering how this relates to China. We must first give some context regarding the continuing crisis in Ukraine as we explore this issue and consider viable remedies for the ignorant Russian president. Under Vladimir Putin, the confrontation with Ukraine this year started in February. Putin wanted to take down Unicom. Since World War II in 1940, this war has been the largest in Europe. It has sought to overthrow the country's current government to prevent Ukraine from joining the Western alliance of NATO or the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Putin has referred to this invasion as a special military operation on a few occasions, and the forces involved are aware of the core elements of the overall story. Let's look at Elon's proposal for bringing the warring groups together in peace. In a tweet, Musk provided a few suggestions to ease the tensions between Russia and Ukraine. The first thing Elon suggested was that new elections be held both for the country as a whole and in the areas of Ukraine that Russia had annexed. The Crimea Peninsula region joining Russia, rather than Ukraine, was mentioned in the second argument. The government was required to deliver water to the Crimea region in the third and fourth points. At the same time, Ukraine was advised to retain its neutrality and refrain from joining NATO. The first of these points don't seem appropriate, even though most support the Russian government. The Russian government is worried because Elon Musk's plan for democratic elections in the region has disturbed them despite their aim to formally annex the entire area and stop Ukraine from joining NATO. In February of this year, Putin placed a pro-Russian administration in the annex, culminating in Crimea's takeover. However, the idea of a free election scared both Putin and a Russian citizen, dependable allies. China and Russia have been strategic partners since the Russian Federation was established in 1991. This partnership will still be active in 2020. Both countries want to boost their trade to an incredible $200 billion. Elon put the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, in peril when he offered free elections in divisive districts like Crimea. You are aware that the CCP is in control of some contentious areas. Taiwan, as well as Zhenjiang, the CCP is infamous for violent acts like ethnic cleansing and mass surveillance. In these, Elon's recommendation that Crimea citizens be allowed to vote was seen as a direct threat by the Chinese Communist Party. Elon Musk has shown his personality too much, claims Hu Jin, who came to Twitter to express his anger and caution shortly after Elon tweeted his peace offers. Jin is the former head editor of the Chinese Communist Party's newspaper, the Global Times. However, what makes Xi Jin's tweet more significant is his assurance that Elon will learn a lesson. But things weren't always so tight between Elon Musk and the Chinese Communist Party. He had a good reputation up until last year. Elon frequently celebrated China's economic progress while lamenting the country's entitlement mentality and culture of complacency in his tweets from China. In actuality, the CCP helped Elon build the biggest electric vehicle manufacturer. Given that the Chinese government was a significant supporter of the idea and even gave incentives for producers and purchasers, it makes sense for a company like Tesla to invest in the country to produce batteries for automobiles. Then, if it isn't already obvious, we also need to grasp how the CCP works. The Chinese Communist Party takes pleasure in ruling over its people. They love having leverage over all their business partners, which has led them to coerce international and Chinese automakers into a 50-50 joint venture. Or the CCP maintains control over them, in part through the Chinese government. As we know, Tesla was in, but then had to make sure he had total control over the Chinese company and banned any partners from having ownership stakes. This risk was known to the CCP at the time. However, they had to take it to show the rest of the world that the country was a secure investment place. But as time went on, other Chinese automakers like NIO started to catch up to Tesla and even surpass the US. When relations between the USA and China reached an all-time low in 2021, the company's condition worsened. The presidents of the United States, Joe Biden and China, and Xi Jinping are engaged in a furious argument over their respective nations' differing viewpoints, technology, economics, and philosophical considerations. The CCP quickly concluded that having Tesla and Elon on board was terrible for them. The U.S. government was allegedly eavesdropping on Chinese residents using the software and Tesla automobiles, as was foreseen, according to state-owned media sites in China. Chinese newspapers recently started to publish an increasing number of articles about Tesla automobiles' brake and battery issues. Even though there was no hard evidence to back up these claims, the Tesla vehicle recall was sensationalized in the Chinese media. Additionally, the alleged recollections were only broadcast. All of these contributed to Tesla's overall fall. The company that produced the one status symbol car was no longer that. However, this was not all. China decided to support its ally and refrained from calling the invasion of Ukraine a war. Ukraine's internet connection was cut down when hostilities erupted in February 2022. The land was approached, and they requested that he set up Starlink. There is a satellite internet constellation that operates anonymously from space. Elon agreed and provided Ukraine with over 25,000 Starlink satellites to connect the country to the internet. As a result, the CCP became even more irate and demanded guarantees. If Starlink were ever implemented, Musk would not sell it in China. Additionally, it would give citizens a way to circumvent internet limitations imposed by the government. Elon had been strongly advised not to import the satellites by the CCP. Before we investigate whether the intimidation from the CCP has only been made-up threats since then, please like the video. Let's continue. Due to all these challenges worsening the tension between him and the Chinese government, Elon Musk was set to face a threat. Although it wasn't the first time the CCP threatened a prominent person in public, it is well known that the CCP has threatened and intimidated anyone who has ventured to challenge this. When a delegate of China's foreign ministry visited Taiwan in August of this year, Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the U.S. House, was there. Pelosi's trip to Taiwan, which China claims as its own, clarified this. According to Julie and John, the U.S. government refused to heed the threats of intimidation, and Nancy Pelosi eventually completed her tour of the country without any threats coming to pass. The U.S. had already charged China with stealing intellectual property and violating international trade. A U.S. legislative assessment based on these claims pegged the annual cost of China's intellectual property theft at between $225 and $600 billion. It is logical to infer that China must have stolen crucial expertise from companies like Tesla to promote indigenous automakers. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.